Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or depending on what time you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. So this weekend, or more specifically last Thursday night, I went and saw the new A24 film, Death of a Unicorn, and to put it simply, I did not like it. Probably the movie I was most excited for that came out this month. And to give a quick review, I would say it felt flat, the humor didn't land, and ultimately, I just didn't like any of the characters. And this was sadly disappointing for a movie that I really was looking forward to, that had a lot of really good actors in it. And then before this, the last A24 film I saw in theaters was Y2K, which came out late last year. And to really simply put it, I thought that movie was terrible. And then even last year, a movie I was really excited for was Maxine, the third installment of the X trilogy, and that really did not end on the greatest note. It wasn't the best finale. So after seeing Death of a Unicorn, this brought up the thought to me of, are A24 films getting bad? For the longest time, A24 has had this great reputation for great quality. They care about the theatrical experience, which I think they still do. It just seems like some of the products they've been putting out recently have just not been good. And I have two thoughts as to maybe why this could be. Now, these are obviously just my thoughts. There's no actual answer to this hypothetical question I'm asking. But the first thought is, these more recent two movies that I've seen are basically made by first-time directors. The director of Death of a Unicorn was Alex Sharfman, I believe his name is pronounced. This was the first feature film that he directed. I think the only other thing he did was a short film. And going back to Y2K, Kyle Mooney, who's done a lot of writing in the industry, but this is basically his first directing credit. So could it just be that these are essentially first-time directors that are taking the helm of these feature films? Maybe. Another thought I had is A24 trying to make too many movies? It seemed like before, at least, years ago, A24 would maybe have a handful of movies come out every year. Now it seems like there's at least one movie a month. In fact, I've actually went through the schedule for the rest of the year. There are 7 more A24 films coming out just between now and the remainder of the year. I'm just wondering, is A24 just trying to put too much out there? And maybe it's the number game? And are they putting quantity over quality? They also are growing, so it makes sense to put more films out there. With that number that I just mentioned, that doesn't mean that there isn't still some promising stuff coming out the rest of this year. I just wanted to highlight 3 films that came to mind that I am still excited for, that I also think could be really good. Next month in April, we have Warfare coming out. And then in May, we have 2 A24 films that I'm also pretty excited for. The first one's called Friendship, that has Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson in it. And the last one is Bring Her Back, the new film by the filmmakers that did Talk to Me, which was probably the best horror movie of that year. But going into that title, Bring Her Back, hopefully A24 can bring back the quality on screen again. All right.
See you, chump.